Excellent. So I have put a spotlight on the session leader, Megina, and the BSL interpreter, James, today. But please let us know in the chat if you have any technical difficulties, and we will help you. We've had activities running all day today, and in terms of activities going on after this event, this afternoon, Sense are running a drumming to music session at 2 p.m. and Room 1 has a virtual room for people to talk about different organisations working with disabled people at 2 o'clock, and reflections on the day at 2:40. So we'd encourage you to check those out too. So this session is around deaf awareness and everyday BSL signs, and I'm really excited to introduce you to Megina, who'll be running the session today. So over to you, Megina.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you, Sarah. Really welcome here. It's great to see you. My name is Megina. My sign name is this, Megina. So this is just going to be a short presentation. I'm going to start off talking about myself. I'm fully deaf. I grew up deaf. I went to a deaf school, and really my life is deaf. I love my deaf culture, and whenever I left school, I went to college. It was quite a different world. It was a mixed world, so hearing and deaf. Some problems there, but really access can be a problem as well. Technology is good to help getting us all to work together and how we connect. But with the hearing world, it's really important that we are included in that. So today, in this short time, I'm going to be explaining a little bit about deaf awareness and also some everyday BSL. Hopefully, all of you will be able to use that and take some of this away with you. Okay, next slide, please. So in this section, I'll talk about deaf awareness. So communication, how do we do that? So BSL, I'm going to explain about that. So, and also we've got to practice some BSL fingerspelling as well. Also everyday signs, I'm going to practice some of that too. So that'll be quite exciting. Next slide, please. So deaf people, we can achieve anything that we dream, but we need the right support. This means that everybody would say, so if I want to do something, if I want to achieve something, I can do that. That is possible with the right support. Okay, next slide, please. So again, deaf awareness. I've got to talk about that. There's lots of deaf people in society today, in the world. There's loads of us out there. Some of us lip read. Even some hearing people would use some lip reading as well. That can be a problem if people's got moustaches, if their mouth is covered, again with face masks as well. That can be quite a problem too. Again, with COVID, everybody was using face masks, and that was really quite a problem. And again, for access, that was really difficult for deaf people. And people didn't understand that deaf people relied on that lip reading, and they didn't understand that they may have to remove their mask to be able to understand what's being said. Secondly, please don't say, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you that later. If people are talking in their own little group, you can feel quite left out. I feel like deaf people are lesser, which isn't true. So it's really important that with hearing and deaf culture, that maybe hearing people can start to sign and be including deaf people. Also with communication, using phones, we can text, we can write, communication, all of that sort of stuff. Again, with the right support is what we need. Lots of hearing people, they don't know that the deaf culture is out there, so they're not aware of it. We also need money for interpreters and access to work. Government, there is money there for that and there for interpreters. But sometimes that can be a problem, access to work and paying interpreters to get the right support there. Can be quite, it must be important that interpreters are qualified to a correct level to be able to appropriately work with deaf people. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so lots here. So whenever you're introducing me, some people introduce me as, hi, I'm Megina, who's deaf, which isn't right. That's a label that's being put on me. And some of those labels aren't helpful. For me, I don't want to be known just as the deaf person. I want to be known as myself. Next slide, please. Also, another thing, it's impossible sometimes for the deaf person to say, oh, Mary, sorry, hang on just a minute. Sorry, just me as an interpreter, hang on, the screen has changed. Just a minute, I'm not able to see. Okay. Also, so whenever talking about, for example, Mark or Mary or any of these people can say that, oh, yeah, so talk about the things that I like. It's more than just the label of being deaf. It's, I like walking, I like eating, all that sort of stuff. But some people with their communication styles, they don't like that as well. It's really about getting to know the person. So being deaf aware, understanding me as myself, to support me in what I'm doing. So with communication out there, it's important for you to know where to start as well, and not just label me as being the deaf person, that I'm capable of more than that as well. Yeah, not just deaf, and more than that, so you understand. So that can be quite frustrating if that we're just always labeled with being deafness and not about ourselves. Okay, next slide, please. So golden rules of deaf people, we're not stupid. We're not dumb. There's going to be a little video here as well, I think. So we're just going to watch that. Okay, can you press that? So this is going to be about communication. Hang on, it's just disappeared.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the hyperlink, but I can't seem to find it in that presentation.
Oh, that's okay, don't worry then. I can send you afterwards, okay.
Sorry about that.
So, okay, communication. So next slide. So whenever you communicate with a deaf person, please try to be face on with them. Signing, all of that, we could lip read, write it down perhaps. But if you're away looking other places, that might be difficult. Also, speak clearly. Don't shout. For me, I'm deaf, so if you're shouting at me, it does make you look a little bit angry. I'm fully deaf, so I'm not going to hear you any easier because you're raising your voice. If I don't understand, I might say to ask again, so please be patient. Also, don't say, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you later. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, just try. Just try and be on the same level as me, as the deaf person. Next slide, please. So how to get attention from a deaf person. So this is really important that you're face on, you make eye contact. Some hearing people, they talk and talk and they look all over the place. But for deaf people, we need eye contact. So please do that. Also, if you shout just hello, deaf people can do that. But to get attention, maybe turning on and off the light could get deaf people to focus. Also, feeling the vibration on the floor, that'll get people to gain the attention. If it's in a house, that's a lot easier to do. My mother, father, they're the same, they bang the floor and that gets my attention. So I know they're looking for me. Again, if you're hearing people, you don't really pay attention to the floor. Sometimes deaf people, we feel the vibration. If we're meeting somebody, it's okay just to tap on the shoulder, that's fine. In the deaf community, that's okay. Hearing people, sometimes they don't like that physical contact of actually touching somebody, but with deaf, that's fine, just on the shoulder, it's okay. You're allowed in different cultures as well, it's okay, or even just a wave to get the attention. Just whatever way. Next slide, please. So these are things not to do to get attention. So my friend and me, we'd be signing and notice somebody staring at us from the side. We hate it. It's no, I really don't like that. Someone staring in. It feels really intrusive, really, like somebody's spying on you. Like we're communicating, so why are you just staring at us? Like, who are you? So try not to just stare. Again, like don't just barge in and think you know it all. Like sometimes we don't need help as well. Sometimes we do it ourselves. Like we can use phones to text rather than make a phone call. So we are quite independent. Also ask. Like some people ask, are you born deaf or you're not? Like asking really personal questions. And like really, I feel like I don't have to explain, or neither do I want to start to explain to a stranger about that. Sometimes it's good to ask and explain, but really it's getting the attitude right. It can be quite frustrating because it's always the same questions that are asked. But yeah. Next slide, please. So last tip, please don't panic. If you see a deaf person coming, don't panic. You can always find some sort of way of communicating, maybe writing it down, something like that. But some people get really frustrated and embarrassed. Please don't worry. It's best to know that you've actually tried to communicate with us, to write something down. Maybe you've used your phone to text on it, text a word. Please, like, just show us our worth. Don't be worried. Also your attitude, again, just make it pleasant. Yeah, she's asking would I like a break, maybe about 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Okay, we're just going to have a quick break, maybe for about 2 minutes. We're just going to turn off our cameras on 2 minutes, okay? Hello, everybody. Okay, I've now changed my screen a little bit better. Okay, so are we all back again? Put your thumbs up if you're here. Okay, next slide, please. So what is BSL? So British Sign Language. Next slide, next slide. So BSL, we have our own grammatical structure. And that means that English, they've got words, it's all separate, nothing like that. We have our own language and it's developed on its own. So deaf people and our language, BSL, we would use that. Hearing people, your first language, spoken English. That's what you'd use if you were born that way, deaf, born deaf. We would really use BSL. So we would sign. So sign language itself, it varies. It's called regional variations. We've got a few other things. It's really important to use facial features as well, and body language also, that's included in BSL. The really important thing is our facial features to include the emotion there. Next slide, please. So what kind of language is BSL? So we've got hand shapes like this. We've got lip patterns. I'll explain more about that. It's a bit like the sign for ant, A-N-T, or uncle, uncle. So the signs are very similar, but the lip pattern is different. Ant, uncle. So you can recognize the difference through the lip pattern. The hearing person would have the word and they'd be able to understand the word. You have completely different words for the two different things. But I like the fact it's one sign that's changed by the lip pattern. If you sign with no facial features, it can be quite difficult and you look quite wooden, really. It's not also like a dance, don't overdo it, but just make sure your body language is included in how you communicate. Where BSL is really different than English. Maybe you've seen how deaf people use English anyway with their words. Maybe some of them would change around, or deaf people would write differently. That's really because of the influence of BSL in written language. So the word order would be slightly different. Some deaf people can use English really well. Others, a wee bit of a struggle there. Next slide, please. I'll give you more examples. So in English, we'd say, what is your name? In BSL, we say, your name, what? Name, me, what? So it's completely different word order. So in English, all those words, what is your name? It's the full sentence. But in BSL, we wouldn't use that. Is taken out, those little words. So name, me, what? BSL would use that. Okay, next slide, please. So there's no real problems that I am deaf because of me. I believe it. Some people are sad that I'm deaf. That's not right. It's the attitude with that as well. It's the barriers that society is out there that causes me problems. It's not because of my deafness. So I'm quite happy to be deaf. My community, I'm included in that. So got deaf love. There's deaf people all over. Some of them have cochlear implants. We can drive, we can cook, we can dress ourselves, put on makeup, lots of stuff. All we can do is we can't hear. But we use different ways of communicating. We're visual. I do rely on my eyesight an awful lot. whereas you guys might rely more on your hearing. But driving a car, I can see, I don't need my hearing for that. So I can do most things. It's grand. Hearing people, they can learn sign language. For deaf people, it's impossible for us to learn to hear. Just to be clear with that. Next slide, please. So have a look quickly. We've got to learn some sign. We've got to practice some of these, okay? So this is known as fingerspelling. So next slide. So I'm going to talk about right and left-handed. So it's like you know which hand you use, which is dominant. Maybe you're dominant in your right hand because you write with your pen on that hand. So if you're dominant, you use your right hand as the one that comes first. And if you're left, and the other one, the submissive hand, is the one that you're signing onto. But yeah, we're just going to be doing that so it flows quite well. But remember, if you're right-handed, that's the one that it's got to be dominant. Sorry, just a minute. Oh, talking about vowels. So it's quite easy to remember. There's 5 vowels, 5 fingers, A, E, I, O, and U. And these are the vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. That's it. So there's a few things easy to remember, but also make sure your left hand, the fingers come towards your index finger and you're putting them over. Next slide, please. So we've got to stay on this slide. We're going to practice full finger spelling now, okay? So if you want to practice, you can turn on your cameras. So A, B, just follow along. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Oh, this is R, R, S. Your small fingers together, your 2 little fingers. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it. S. T, U, your little finger. V, W, X, Y, Z. Well done. Woohoo. So we're going to go through that again. Have a look again. A. So A. B. C. D. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. K. L. M. N. O. P. 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 just like this here, this hand shape together. B, Q, R, S, T, just at the bottom part of your hand. T, yep, that's right. T, U, V, W, X, Y, Y, just the back of your hand, and Z. Well done, Z. Well done. So do you want to practice yourself? You've got the sheet there. Maybe practice signing your names. Oh, maybe we'll do our names afterwards, actually. Just go through it yourself, first of all, A to Z. Okay. L. That's right. Q. Very good. S. Yeah, just your two smaller fingers just hanging off each other. Y. It's on the back of your palm, on the back. So if you turn your hand around, yep, that's it. Y. Well done, well done. That's fantastic. So we're going to have a look at the next slide now. So we're all got to do this at the same time. So A. So A. Okay. Next slide. B. Next slide. C. Next slide. D. Next slide. E. Next slide. F. F. G. Very good. H. H. I. Just I. Yeah, I. We're going quicker now. I, J. K. Next one. K. L. L. That's right. M. Mhm. N. Mhm. O. Oh, that's good. Mhm. P. Mhm. Q. R. S. Small fingers. S. T. It's just the lower part of your hand. T. U. V. Mhm. W. X. Y. Y. Mhm. Z. Z. It's like this, horizontally, vertically. Very good. Well done, well done. So that was quite quick. So it means that you are starting to get it into your head. So now we're going to try and finger spell some other things. Next slide, please. So now finger spelling your name. So remember, this is how you say it. Name me. So the sign for name, and then me, and then finger spell it. So who wants to go first? Any volunteers? One person? Name me. Well done, well done. Lovely to meet you. Anybody else? Damien? Mm-hmm. Well done, well done. Lovely to meet you as well, Damien. Anybody else? What about oh, man. Lovely to meet you as well. So Sarah, what about you? Sarah, lovely to meet you as well. E, is there something to begin with an E? Are you wanting to have a go? Yep. Emily. Lovely to meet you. I'm surprised about how quickly you've taken all of that in. That's really good. Well done. I'm very impressed. So let's look at the next slide to see if you can understand and some of the receptive in this. Next slide again. So can you work out what this says? So do you know what that says? Happy? Yep, happy. Mm-hmm. Well done. Next slide, please. Let's see. Cake. That's a sign for cake. Cake. Well done. Next one. V. Is that how you sound V? V? Lovely. Very good, very good. Well done, well done. Next slide. So these are just everyday signs that I'm going to be teaching you. Next slide again, please. So, hello. Hello. Good. Good. Thumbs up. Good. Morning. Morning. This is a sign for morning. Afternoon. Afternoon. And night. This is night. How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm fine. Me? Fine. Me good. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help? Can. This is a sign for can. Can I, pointing at myself, and help. Please. 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 Thank you. Slightly different. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It ends on a thumbs up. Like. I like. Nice. Nice. Meeting. So meet. 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 Time for drink. Drink. Just a cup to your mouth. Drink. Food. Or food. Food. Or food. Food or food. Yeah. It still means the same thing. Same. Same. Milk. Milk. Coffee. 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 Sugar. Sugar. Tea. Tea. And biscuit. 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 Well done, well done. Just got to do one more thing as well. Okay, so hello. Hello. Hello, I'll do that again. Hello. Good morning. Afternoon. Night. How are you? I'm fine. Can I help you? Please. Thank you. Like. Nice. Meet. Isn't to meet you. Drink. Food. Good. See him. Milk. Milk. Coffee. Coffee. Sugar. Tea. And biscuits. Biscuit. So does anybody want to try some of these yourself? Yeah. So nice. Fantastic. That's really good. Anybody else? Really good. Oh, fantastic. Well done. Fantastic. Really good. You've all remembered something. You've all been remembering it really quickly, so I'm quite impressed. Well done. Next slide, please. Now, thank you very much. If you have any questions at all for me, just let me know. Next one, please. So that was just a really short presentation. But I work for the Deaf Women's Centre in Bradford, with it's sort of a drop-in centre. So anybody at all can just drop in and we'll help support them. We've got all sorts of activities, and just it's sort of like a women's group to sit and chat as well. And we can be connected on Facebook, all of that as well. We teach too. We teach other awareness things, teas and coffees mornings. We're actually all focused about empowering women and to connect with their community and connect with each other. Like if you're feeling lonely in your own home, come along. Hearing people, hearing women are also included as well. They'd be just great community. If you have any questions at all about that, please let me know. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully all you enjoyed this as well. I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Megina, for such a brilliant, informative session. I've learned so much and I'm sure others feel the same, but we really appreciate your time and your expertise. Thank you also for everyone joining this session. And Damien, if you could put the feedback form in the chat, then that would be great. We'd love to hear from you about the day so that we can keep building the event year on year. So if you could fill in that form, that would really help us. Please go back into room 1 if you'd like to join the rest of the activities for the afternoon. Huge thanks again to Megina and to James. And I hope you will have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
That was brilliant.
Who's talking, sorry?
Oh, Sarah.
Oh, I can't see if your camera's off.